The spark from Jake Morrison's welding torch lit up the dark underground tunnel. He pulled off his safety mask and wiped sweat from his forehead. 3 levels below the old Detroit subway system, his secret workshop hummed with quiet activity. The year was 2387, and humans were not allowed to build anything more advanced than basic tools. Jake looked at the device on his workbench. It was about the size of a car engine, but this machine could change everything. The aliens who ruled. Earth called it impossible. They said humans were too stupid to understand faster than light travel. Jake was about to prove them wrong. "Energy levels look good," said Maria Santos from her computer station. She was Jake's only helper in this dangerous work. Maria had been a physics professor before the aliens took over. Now she spent her days hiding in tunnels and helping Jake build the future. The hegemony had controlled Earth for over 100 years. 4 different alien species worked together to keep humans down. They took all the smart humans and made them work in their factories. They destroyed all human universities and research centers. They said humans were only good for basic labor. But they made one mistake. They let Jake Morrison live. Jake had worked for NASA before the invasion. He designed rocket engines that could reach Mars in just 2 months. When the aliens came, they killed most of the engineers and scientists. Jake escaped by hiding in the old subway tunnels under Detroit. He had been down here for 5 years, learning alien technology and planning his revenge. "Hand me that quantum stabilizer," Jake said to Maria. She passed him a device they had stolen from a crashed alien ship 6 months ago. Jake had spent weeks figuring out how it worked. The aliens used it to keep their engines stable during fast travel. But Jake found a way to make it work better. The device on his workbench was called the Freedom Engine. It could open holes in space and let ships travel between stars instantly. The aliens did this with huge machines that cost more money than most planets made in a year. Jake built his version using old human math and salvaged alien parts. "The calculations still look right," Maria said, checking her screen for the 100th time that day. "But are you sure this will work? If we're wrong, we might blow up half of Detroit." Jake smiled. "We won't blow up anything. This design is based on human physics, not alien technology. We understand it better than they do." Maria was not so sure. The aliens had traveled between stars for thousands of years. Humans had only started going to other planets 200 years ago. How could human science be better than alien science? But Jake had shown her things that made her believe. Human mathematics worked in ways the aliens never thought of. Where aliens used brute force and expensive materials, humans found clever shortcuts. The Freedom Engine was smaller, cheaper, and more efficient than anything in the alien fleet. "Remember what we found in that alien computer core last month?" Jake asked while connecting wires to the engine. "Their own scientists don't understand how their FTL drives work. They just copy old designs from their ancestors. They stopped trying to improve them centuries ago." That discovery had shocked both of them. The mighty hegemony was using technology they didn't fully understand. They were like children playing with their grandfather's tools. But humans were still learning, still growing, still trying to make things better. Jake finished the last connection and stepped back. The Freedom Engine sat on his workbench like a sleeping dragon. It contained enough power to punch a hole through space itself. All they needed to do was turn it on and point it at a small test probe. "Sensors are clear," Maria reported. "No alien ships in orbit above us. Energy shields are holding steady. If anyone is watching, they won't see anything unusual." Jake had built the workshop to be invisible. The walls were lined with materials that absorbed energy signatures. The entrance was hidden behind a fake wall in an abandoned subway station. Even if aliens walked right over their heads, they would not detect the workshop below. But Jake knew they were taking a huge risk. The Freedom Engine would create energy patterns that had never existed on Earth before. If the aliens were watching closely, they might notice something strange. And if they found the workshop, Jake and Maria would disappear forever. "Are you ready?" Jake asked, his hand hovering over the activation switch. Maria nodded. "All systems are green. Test probe is loaded and ready for launch." The test probe was a small device about the size of a basketball. It contained cameras and sensors that would record everything during the jump. If the Freedom engine worked, the probe would travel to the edge of the solar system and back in less than 1 second. Jake pressed the switch. The Freedom engine came to life with a low humming sound. Energy flowed through its quantum cores like liquid lightning. The air around it began to shimmer as space itself started to bend. Jake watched the power readings climb higher and higher. "Quantum tunnel forming," Maria announced, her voice tight, with excitement and fear. "Energy levels are stable. The math is working, Jake. It's actually working." A small hole appeared in the air above the test probe. It looked like a window into deep space, filled with stars and darkness. Through the hole, Jake could see the edge of the solar system where their target coordinates waited. "Launching probe." "Now," Maria said. The small device shot through the hole like a bullet. The opening closed behind it immediately. For a moment, the workshop was completely silent. Then Maria's computer started beeping with incoming data. "The probe is sending signals," she shouted. "It made the jump. It's at the target coordinates exactly where we wanted it to go." Jake felt his heart racing. They had done it. After 5 years of work, countless failures, and constant danger, they had built a working faster-than-light drive. Humans could now travel between stars without asking permission from aliens, but this was just the beginning. The small test was nothing compared to what Jake planned to do next. Hidden in another tunnel, a real starship waited for the Freedom engine. The ship was called the Defiance, and it would carry human technology to the stars. "Bring the probe back," Jake said. "We need to run more tests and make sure everything works perfectly. Then we install this engine in the Defiance and show the galaxy what humans can really do." As Maria started the return sequence, neither of them noticed the faint energy signature that leaked through their shields. High above in orbit, sensitive, alien sensors detected something they had never seen before. And somewhere in the darkness of space, a bounty hunter's ship began turning toward Earth. Captain Rex Valdez stared at the message on his ship's computer screen. The pay was better than anything he had seen in months. Find and capture illegal technology operation. Location: Earth, North American continent, Detroit ruins. Reward: 50,000 credits. Rex leaned back in his pilot chair aboard the Iron Wolf. His ship was small but deadly, packed with weapons and scanning equipment. He had been a bounty hunter for 8 years now, tracking down criminals and rebels across the galaxy. The work paid well, but it left him feeling empty inside. The job details were strange. Most bounty contracts were for specific people. This one was different. The hegemony wanted him to find some kind of technology that should not exist. According to the file, humans in Detroit were somehow creating energy signatures that matched. No known devices in the alien database. Rex knew Detroit well. He had grown up there before the aliens took over. His father had worked in the old car factories, building vehicles that could never leave the planet. Rex had dreamed of becoming a pilot and exploring the stars. When the invasion came, those dreams died along with millions of humans. "Computer, set course for Earth," Rex said. "Best speed." The Iron Wolf jumped into hyperspace. Rex would reach Earth in 6 hours. He used the travel time to study the energy readings the hegemony had detected. The patterns were unlike anything he had ever seen. They showed massive power generation followed by controlled space distortion. Only one thing could create readings. Like that. Someone was building a faster-than-light drive. Rex felt a chill run down his spine. If humans had developed FTL technology, it would change everything. The aliens kept humans enslaved by controlling all advanced technology, but if people could build their own starships and escape Earth, the whole system would collapse. Part of Rex hoped the readings were wrong. Another part of him, buried deep inside, hoped they were right. Back in the underground workshop, Jake and Maria celebrated their success. The test probe had returned with perfect data. The Freedom engine worked exactly as designed. They were ready to install it in a real starship. The quantum tunnel was stable for the entire jump, Maria said, reading data from her computer. No energy loss, no structural damage to the probe. Jake, this is better than alien FTL drives. It's faster, cleaner, and uses 90% less power. Jake nodded but did not smile. Success meant they were ready for the next phase, but it also meant more danger. We need to move the engine to the Defiance tonight. Every minute we stay here increases the risk of detection. The Defiance waited in a hidden hangar 2 miles away through the old subway tunnels. Jake had spent 3 years rebuilding the ship from a crashed human corvette. It was small but fast, designed for stealth missions and quick escapes. With the Freedom engine installed, it would be the first human ship capable of true interstellar travel. I've been monitoring alien communication channels, Maria said. No increased activity yet, but that could change quickly. If they detected, our test response teams could already be on their way. Jake gathered his tools and started disconnecting the Freedom engine from the test setup. The device was heavier than it looked, but they had built a small cart to move it through the tunnels. They would need to make several trips to transport all the components safely. As they worked, Rex's ship dropped out of hyperspace above Earth. The Iron Wolf was invisible to human sensors, but Rex could see everything happening on the planet. Below. He activated his deep scanning equipment and began searching for unusual energy signatures. The readings led him to the ruins of Detroit. Rex piloted his ship through the upper atmosphere, following the energy trail like a bloodhound. His scanners showed the source was somewhere underground, but the exact location was difficult to pinpoint. Rex parked the Iron Wolf directly above the strongest energy readings. His ship hovered silently, hidden by advanced stealth technology. From there, he could scan the entire underground area without being detected. What he found surprised him. The tunnel system was huge, stretching for miles in every direction. Someone had spent years preparing this hiding place. Whoever was down there knew how to stay hidden from alien surveillance. But they had made one mistake. The energy signature from their test was still detectable, even hours later. Rex's equipment could track the residual quantum distortion back to its source. He began mapping the tunnels, looking for the exact location of the illegal technology. In the workshop below, Jake and Maria loaded the Freedom engine onto their transport cart. The device was carefully wrapped in shock-absorbing materials to protect it during the journey through the rough tunnels. "Something feels wrong," Maria said as they prepared to leave. "My instruments are showing faint scanning beams from orbit. Someone might be looking for us." Jake checked his own sensors. The readings were barely detectable, but they were there. A ship was hovering directly above them, using deep scan technology to probe the underground areas. "Bounty hunter," Jake said quietly. "The aliens must have detected our test after all. We need to move now, before they find us." They pushed the cart out of the workshop and into the main tunnel. The journey to the Defiance would take 2 hours through the dark passages. They had made this trip many times before, but never while being hunted by alien technology. Rex continued his methodical scan of the tunnel system. His equipment detected multiple energy sources underground, but most were just old electrical systems from before the invasion. He was looking for something specific, the quantum signature of advanced technology. Then he found it. Deep underground, moving through the tunnels, was an energy source unlike anything in the Hegemony database. The readings showed controlled quantum fields and exotic matter containment. Rex had found his target, but as he studied the readings more carefully, Rex realized something that shocked him. The technology was not just advanced. In some ways, it was more sophisticated than anything the aliens possessed. The power efficiency was incredible, and the quantum control systems were beyond anything Rex had seen in 8 years of bounty hunting. Humans had not just stolen alien technology, they had improved it. Rex sat in his pilot chair, staring at the impossible readings on his screen. His orders were clear: find the illegal technology and capture everyone involved. The reward would set him up for life. But looking at those readings, Rex felt something he had not experienced in years. He felt proud to be human. The Iron Wolf's computer chimed with an incoming message from the hegemony. They wanted a progress report. Rex's finger hovered over the communication controls. In a few hours, he would have to make the most important decision of his life. Below ground, Jake and Maria continued their dangerous journey through the tunnels, unaware that their hunter was having second thoughts about his mission. Rex launched his first scanner drone into the tunnel system below Detroit. The small robot was silent and nearly invisible, equipped with the best alien detection technology. It would map every passage and find the source of those impossible energy readings. The drone descended through a broken subway grate and began exploring the abandoned tunnels. Rex watched its progress on his main screen, noting the complex network of passages that stretched for miles underground. Someone had spent years preparing this hiding place. 2 miles away, Jake and Maria pushed their cart through the dark tunnels. The Freedom engine was heavy, and the old subway tracks were rough and broken. They had to stop every few minutes to rest and check their route. "We should reach Junction 7 in another hour," Maria whispered, checking her handheld map. "From there, it's a straight run to the Defiance hangar." Jake nodded but kept looking over his shoulder. He could not shake the feeling that they were being watched. His motion sensors showed nothing, but years of hiding from aliens had taught him to trust his instincts. "Something is following us," Jake said quietly. "I can feel it." Rex's drone was indeed following them, staying just out of sensor range. The small robot moved like a ghost through the tunnels, recording everything it saw. Rex was amazed by what the drone revealed. The humans had turned the old subway system into a complete underground city. There were workshops, living areas, and storage rooms connected by miles of tunnels. Emergency lighting, powered by geothermal energy, kept the passages bright enough to navigate. Air filtration systems provided fresh oxygen to every section. These people had built something impressive. But Rex was more interested in the two figures, pushing a heavy cart through the main tunnel. His drone sensors confirmed what he already suspected. The cart contained the source of those quantum energy readings. "Computer, enhance image of the two humans," Rex ordered. The screen zoomed in on Jake and Maria. Rex studied their faces carefully. The man looked tired but determined, with the steady hands of someone who worked with precision equipment. The woman moved like a scientist, constantly checking instruments and monitoring their surroundings. These were not criminals or terrorists. They were engineers and researchers, the kind of people Rex had once respected and admired. Before the invasion, Rex had dreamed of working with scientists like these to explore the galaxy and push the boundaries of human knowledge. Now he was hunting them for alien masters who wanted to keep humanity enslaved. Jake's warning sensors suddenly activated. His handheld device detected a faint energy signature moving through the tunnels behind them. Something small and advanced was following their trail. "Scanner drone," Maria said, reading the energy pattern. "Military grade, probably alien technology. We need to move faster." They abandoned their careful pace and began pushing the cart as quickly as possible through the rough tunnels. The Freedom engine bounced and shook on its transport frame, but the protective padding kept it safe from damage. Rex watched his prey speed up and smiled grimly. The chase was beginning. He launched 2 more drones to cut off possible escape routes while keeping the first one in pursuit. His quarry was smart and well prepared, but Rex had been hunting fugitives for 8 years. Jake led Maria into a side passage that branched off from the main tunnel. This route was longer but had multiple exits they could use if the drones cornered them. The cart wheels squeaked loudly on the old rails, but speed was more important than stealth now. "They're trying to surround us," Maria reported, watching her scanner screen. 3 drones now, moving to block the main routes to the hangar. Jake stopped the cart and thought quickly. The drones were faster than humans, but they had to follow the tunnel system. Jake knew these passages better than any alien scanner. Could map them. There were maintenance shafts, emergency exits, and hidden passages that did not show up on any official plans. "This way," Jake said, turning the cart toward a narrow opening in the tunnel wall. "Emergency maintenance shaft. It leads directly to hangar level, but the passage is too small for drones." They squeezed the cart through the opening and began crawling through a tight shaft, barely wide enough for 2 people. The Freedom Engine. Scraped against the walls, but Jake had measured this route months ago. The device would fit with inches to spare. Rex cursed as he lost contact with his drones. The humans had disappeared into passages too small for his scanners to follow. But Rex was not worried. He knew where they were going. The energy readings had been moving steadily toward a large, open area deeper in the tunnel system. Rex's orbital scanner showed it was some kind of underground hangar, probably where the humans kept their transportation. If he could not follow them through the maintenance shafts, he would meet them at their destination. Rex activated his personal combat suit and prepared to leave the Iron Wolf. His ship would remain in orbit, hidden and ready for a quick escape. Rex would go underground and finish this hunt personally. Jake and Maria emerged from the maintenance shaft into the hidden hangar that housed the Defiance. The ship was Jake's masterpiece, a sleek corvette rebuilt from salvaged parts and human ingenuity. It looked like a predator ready to strike, all smooth lines and hidden weapons. "Beautiful as always," Maria said, admiring the ship as they pushed the cart toward the engine bay. "Hard to believe we built her from wreckage." Jake opened the engine compartment and began preparing the installation area for the Freedom Engine. The process would take several hours, but once complete, the Defiance would be the most advanced ship in human space. "Sensors are detecting movement. In the outer tunnels," Maria reported from the ship's control room. "Someone is down here with us. Someone big and heavily armed." Rex moved through the tunnels like a professional hunter. His combat suit made him nearly invisible and completely silent. The armor was powered by alien technology and equipped with weapons that could cut through solid steel. He had used this equipment to capture dozens of fugitives across the galaxy. But something felt different about this hunt. Usually Rex felt satisfaction when closing in on his target. This time he felt only sadness and doubt. These humans were trying to break free from alien control, just like Rex had once dreamed of doing. Rex reached the hangar entrance and saw the ship waiting inside. It was smaller than most alien vessels, but beautifully designed. Every line spoke of human creativity and determination. Rex had not seen anything so inspiring since before the invasion. Through his suit's sensors, Rex watched the 2 humans working to install their illegal engine. They moved with practiced efficiency, connecting systems and running diagnostics, with the skill of master engineers. Their faces showed exhaustion, but also hope. Rex raised his weapon and stepped into the hangar. The hunt was over. Now came the hardest part, deciding what to do with his prey. "Stop what you're doing and step away from the ship," Rex called out, his voice amplified by his suit's speakers. "You are under arrest by order of the hegemony." Jake and Maria froze, their hands still on the Freedom Engine. After 5 years of hiding and planning, their dream of human freedom hung in the balance. Everything depended on what happened in the next few minutes. Jake slowly raised his hands but did not step away from the Freedom Engine. Behind him, Maria reached for her sidearm, but Jake shook his head. Fighting would only get them killed, and their work was too important to die for nothing. "You're human," Jake said, studying the figure in the advanced combat suit. "I can hear it in your voice. What's your name, bounty hunter?" Rex kept his weapon trained on them, but hesitated before answering. "Captain Rex Valdez. And you're under arrest for illegal technology development." "Rex Valdez," Jake repeated thoughtfully. "I knew a Mike Valdez who worked at the Ford plant before the invasion. Had a son who wanted to be a pilot. That wouldn't be you, would it?" Rex felt his heart skip a beat. Mike Valdez had been his father, killed in the first wave of alien attacks 30 years ago. How could this stranger know about his family? My father died fighting aliens, Rex said, his voice harder now. He believed humans could resist the occupation. Look how that worked out for him. Jake nodded sadly. A lot of good people died believing in human freedom. But their sacrifice wasn't wasted. What you see here proves they were right to believe. Rex looked at the device they had been installing in the ship. His suit's scanners confirmed what he already suspected. The humans had built a working faster-than-light drive using principles that were completely unknown to alien science. This is impossible, Rex said. Humans don't have the technology for FTL travel. The hegemony has kept us at basic industrial levels for over a century, Maria finally spoke up. That's what they want everyone to believe. But human science never stopped advancing. We just had to do it in secret, in places like this, she gestured. Around the hangar at the tools and equipment Jake had assembled over 5 years. Everything was built from salvaged parts and human ingenuity. No alien technology was needed except for a few components they had stolen and improved upon. The Freedom Engine uses quantum tunneling principles that the aliens never discovered, Jake explained. Their FTL drives use brute force to punch through space. Ours creates elegant pathways that require 90% less energy. Rex studied the technical displays on Jake's workstation. The mathematics were beyond his understanding, but his suit's computer analyzed the data and confirmed what Jake was saying. The human design was not just different from alien technology, it was better. Show me how it works, Rex said, lowering his weapon slightly. Jake looked surprised, but began explaining the Freedom Engine's design. He showed Rex the quantum field generators that created stable wormholes without the massive power requirements of alien drives. He demonstrated the navigation system that could plot courses through space with incredible precision. Traditional. FTL drives tear holes in space and hope for the best, Jake said. The Freedom Engine finds natural weak points and gently opens doorways. It's like the difference between breaking down a wall and finding a hidden door. Rex listened with growing amazement. He had spent 8 years traveling on alien ships, but he had never understood how their engines actually worked. Jake was explaining. Faster-than-light travel in terms that made perfect sense. The aliens have been using the same technology for thousands of years, Maria added. They never tried to improve it because it worked well enough for their needs. But humans always try to find better ways to do things. Rex's communication system suddenly activated. The voice of his hegemony handler filled the hangar through his suit's speakers. Captain Valdez, report your status immediately. Our sensors show you have made contact with the target. Rex looked at Jake and Maria, then at the incredible ship they had built. His finger hovered over the communication controls. One word from him would bring a full hegemony strike force to destroy everything in this hangar. Tell them you found nothing, Jake said quietly. Tell them the energy readings were just old power cables malfunctioning. Help us prove that humans deserve their freedom. And if I refuse, Rex asked, then you complete your mission and collect your bounty, Maria said. But you'll also be helping the aliens keep humanity enslaved forever. Is that really what your father would have wanted? Rex thought about his father, who had died believing that humans could build a better future among the stars. Mike Valdez had never lived to see his son become a pilot, but he had dreamed of the day when humans would explore the galaxy as equals rather than slaves. Captain Valdez, respond immediately, or we will send backup units to your location, the alien voice demanded. Rex made his decision. He activated his communicator and spoke in a calm, professional tone. Control, this is Valdez. Target location secured. Energy readings were caused by damaged electrical systems in the old subway network. No illegal technology detected. Request permission to return to base. There was a long pause before the alien responded. Confirmed, Captain. Return to your ship and await new assignment. Rex turned off his communicator and looked at Jake and Maria. There. I just committed treason against the hegemony. I hope your engine works as well as you claim. Jake smiled for the first time since Rex had arrived. Help us install it and find out. But I should warn you, once the hegemony realizes what you've done, there's no going back to your old life. Rex removed his helmet and looked around the hangar with his own eyes instead of through suit sensors. The Defiance was even more beautiful, without the electronic filters. It represented everything humans could achieve when they refused to accept limits imposed by others. I stopped having a life worth going back to years ago, Rex said. Maybe it's time I remembered what it means to be human. Together, the three of them began installing the Freedom engine in the Defiance. Outside, alien ships continued their patrol routes, unaware that the future of human freedom was being assembled in a hidden hangar beneath their feet. The Freedom engine hummed to life as Jake completed the final connections. The Defiance trembled slightly as exotic energy flowed through new pathways, connecting human engineering with alien salvage in ways no one had ever attempted before. All systems showing green, Maria reported from the pilot's station. Quantum field generators are stable. Navigation computer is accepting the new drive parameters. Jake, I think we actually did it. Rex stood beside them, no longer wearing his combat suit. For the first time in 8 years, he felt like he was on the right side of a fight. The bounty hunter who had spent so long tracking down rebels had become a rebel himself. The engine integration will take another hour, Jake said, checking his instruments. Then we can run a full system test and see if the Defiance can actually make the jump to hyperspace. Rex's ship computer suddenly activated. Without being asked, the Iron Wolf was still in orbit above them, and its communication system was receiving an urgent message from Hegemony Command. Captain Valdez, the alien voice crackled through the speakers. New intelligence suggests the target is still active. Energy readings continue to show unusual patterns. You will return to the underground location and conduct a more thorough search. Rex's blood ran cold. His lie about damaged electrical systems had not fooled them for long. The hegemony was sending him back to find what he had claimed did not exist. Control, this is Valdez, Rex replied, trying to keep his voice steady. Returning to target location now. We'll conduct detailed sweep of all underground areas. Confirmed. And Captain, you will not be alone this time. Battlecruiser Domination is being dispatched to assist with the operation. Estimated arrival time is 4 hours. The communication ended, leaving the hangar in tense silence. Rex looked at Jake and Maria, knowing that everything had just changed. A Hegemony battlecruiser carried enough firepower to level half of Detroit. When it arrived, there would be no place to hide. We have to leave, Maria said. Now, before that battlecruiser gets here. Jake shook his head. The engine integration isn't complete. If we try to jump now, we could destroy the ship and everyone on it. If we stay, we'll definitely be destroyed, Rex pointed out. A battlecruiser has sensors that can map every tunnel in this system. They'll find us within minutes of arriving. Jake stared at the Freedom engine, weighing their options. They were so close to success, but close might not be enough. Then he made a decision that surprised everyone, including himself. You two take the ship and go, Jake said. I'll stay behind and finish the installation work. Once the engine is fully integrated, I can transmit the final specifications to resistance cells across the galaxy. That's suicide, Maria protested. The hegemony will tear this place apart looking for you. Jake smiled sadly. Maybe, but the Freedom engine technology is more important than any of our individual lives. If I can get the complete plans to other engineers, they can build hundreds of these drives. That's worth dying for. Rex understood what Jake was really saying. The engineer was willing to sacrifice himself to ensure that human freedom technology survived. It was the same kind of courage Rex's father had shown during the invasion. There's another way, Rex said slowly. I know how battlecruiser operations work. They'll send boarding parties into the tunnels while keeping the main ship in orbit. If I can get back to my ship and feed them false information about your location, I might be able to buy you time to finish the installation. Maria looked between the two men. And what happens when they figure out you've been lying to them? Then, I become a wanted criminal just like you, Rex replied. But at least I'll be a wanted criminal who helped humanity take its first real step toward freedom. Jake gripped Rex's shoulder. Your father would be proud of you. Rex nodded and began putting his combat suit back on. Keep working on that engine. I'll try to lead the search teams away from this hangar, but I can't guarantee how long I can fool them. He activated his suit's communication system and contacted the Iron Wolf. Computer, prepare for immediate departure. Set course for rendezvous with Hegemony battlecruiser. As Rex prepared to leave, Jake and Maria worked frantically to complete the Freedom engine installation. Every minute counted now. The battlecruiser was coming, and when it arrived, the underground sanctuary that had protected them for 5 years would become a death trap. Rex! Jake called out as the bounty hunter reached the hangar exit. When this is over, when humans are free to travel the stars again, there will be a place for you in the new fleet. Captain Rex Valdez of the Human Liberation Navy. Has a nice ring to it. Rex smiled beneath his helmet. I'll hold you to that promise. He disappeared into the tunnels, leaving Jake and Maria alone with their revolutionary technology. Above them, the Iron Wolf lifted off and headed for its rendezvous with the approaching battlecruiser. Rex knew he was probably flying to his death, but for the first time since the invasion, he felt truly alive. He was fighting for something, bigger than himself, something his father had died believing in. Human freedom was worth any sacrifice. The Hegemony battlecruiser Domination dropped out of hyperspace 2 hours later. It was a massive ship, bristling with weapons and carrying enough troops to occupy a small planet. Rex guided his much smaller vessel alongside the alien dreadnought and prepared to lie like his life depended on it, because it did. And so did the future of humanity. 3 months after the escape from Detroit, Captain Maria Santos stood on the bridge of the human battleship Liberty, watching dozens of ships equipped with Freedom engines prepare for their next mission. The underground workshop was gone, destroyed, in the Hegemony assault. But Jake's revolutionary technology had spread across the galaxy like wildfire. Fleet status report, Maria commanded, settling into the captain's chair she had never expected to occupy. 47 ships ready for jump, reported her tactical officer. All Freedom engines showing optimal performance. The Hegemony still has no way to track us when we're in quantum tunnel mode. Maria smiled with satisfaction. The aliens who had ruled humanity for over a century were finally learning what it meant to fight an enemy they could not see coming. Human ships appeared without warning, struck their targets, and vanished before reinforcements could arrive. But the greatest victory was not military. It was the proof that humans could build technology that surpassed their alien masters. Word had spread throughout the occupied territories that humanity possessed faster than light travel independent of Hegemony control. Resistance movements on 100 worlds had taken courage from that knowledge. Incoming message from Admiral Morrison, the communications officer announced. Maria felt her heart lift. Jake had survived the destruction of the Detroit facility, rescued by other resistance members who had been monitoring the situation. He now commanded the growing human fleet from a hidden base in the asteroid belt. Jake's face appeared on the main screen, older and more tired than before, but with eyes that burned with determination. Maria, good to see you. How did the recruitment mission go? Better than expected, Maria replied. We found 200 volunteers on the mining colonies in the Outer Rim. Most of them are engineers and technicians who know how to build things. They've been waiting their whole lives for a chance to fight back. Excellent. We're going to need every skilled person we can find. Rex's intelligence network has identified 17 Hegemony supply depots that we can hit simultaneously. It's time to show the aliens that humans are no longer helpless victims. Speaking of Rex, Maria turned to her second-in-command. The former bounty hunter had proven invaluable in planning military operations against his former employers. He knew their tactics, their weaknesses, and their technology better than anyone in the human fleet. The battle plan is solid, Rex reported. My contacts in the bounty hunter network have confirmed that hegemony forces are spread thin trying to hunt us down. They're pulling ships from patrol duty to search for our base. That leaves their supply lines vulnerable. Jake nodded approvingly. And what about the new engine production? Are we meeting our targets? Exceeded them by 30%, Maria answered proudly. Human engineers across the galaxy are building Freedom engines faster than we expected. The design is so elegant that it can be constructed using mostly standard industrial equipment. Even primitive worlds can manufacture the basic components. The revolution had succeeded beyond their wildest dreams. What had started as one man's desperate project in an underground workshop had become a galaxy-wide movement for human independence. The aliens had kept humanity enslaved by controlling advanced technology, but humans had proven they could innovate beyond alien limitations. There's something else, Jake said, his expression growing serious. I've been working on improvements to the Freedom engine design. The new version is smaller, more efficient, and can be installed in ships as small as cargo shuttles. Soon, every human transport in the galaxy could have FTL capability. Rex whistled in amazement. The hegemony won't be able to control human movement at all. People will be able to travel between worlds without using alien transport networks. Exactly, Jake confirmed. And that's just the beginning. I've identified 3 other areas where human science can surpass alien technology. We're not just fighting for freedom anymore. We're proving that humanity deserves to lead galactic civilization into the future. The tactical display showed the current position of all human ships equipped with Freedom engines. Red dots represented nearly 300 vessels scattered across a dozen star systems. Each one was invisible to alien sensors when traveling through quantum tunnels. The Hegemony Council is in emergency session, Rex reported, checking intelligence from his spy network. They're trying to figure out how humans develop technology they consider impossible. Some of their scientists are demanding access to our engine designs. Maria laughed. Let them demand. They had 100 years to study human potential and decided we were only good for manual labor. Now they want to learn from the species they tried to keep in chains. There's been another development, Jake continued. 3 alien species have approached us through diplomatic channels. They want to negotiate for access to Freedom engine technology. It seems we're not the only ones who got tired of hegemony control. Rex leaned forward with interest. Which species? The Centauri Republic, the Vegan Trade Union, and the Rigel Confederacy. All of them are junior members of the hegemony who have been dominated by the 4 major powers for centuries. They see human independence as their chance to break free, too. Maria considered the implications. If we can build an alliance with other oppressed species, the hegemony won't be able to stop us. They'll be facing rebellion on dozens of fronts. That's the plan, Jake confirmed. Human technology becomes the catalyst for galactic freedom. We share our innovations with anyone willing to fight for independence, and together we create a new order based on cooperation rather than domination. The communication ended, leaving Maria to contemplate how much had changed in just 3 months. She had been a physics professor helping one engineer build an impossible engine. Now she commanded a warship in humanity's fight for galactic independence. Captain, her sensor officer called out. We're receiving a priority message from the asteroid base. Admiral Morrison wants the entire fleet to assemble for a major operation. Maria felt a thrill of anticipation. Whatever Jake was planning, it would be another step toward the future he had dreamed of in that underground workshop. A future where humans took their rightful place among the stars, not as slaves or servants, but as equals and innovators. All ships, this is Captain Santos, Maria announced to the fleet. Prepare for quantum jump to assembly coordinates. It's time to show the galaxy what humans can accomplish when we refuse to accept limitations. As the Liberty's Freedom engine powered up, Maria thought about Jake's words from months ago. The spark of human ingenuity had indeed become an unstoppable flame, and that flame was about to reshape the entire galaxy. The age of human servitude was ending. The age of human leadership among the stars was about to begin.